Welcome to Lesson 7 of Module 6, Genetic Change. In this video, we're going to be looking at the effects of biodiversity of all of the different technologies and techniques that we've looked at over this module. So all of these technologies have some agricultural benefits, and if we use artificial insemination, we're improving our reproductive efficiency, and there in turn we can breed more livestock. We can also increase the productivity of marginalized land and reduce any losses that we might get post-harvest. If we also use these types of techniques, we can limit the spread of infectious diseases, and artificial insemination is also inexpensive technique as breeding goes beyond geographic barriers. Any artificial pollination, it might help to overcome the decline of our natural pollinators, which we know insects and bees are decreasing, and the future of mechanical pollination is probably going to be in the field of drones and how we can use those more effectively in agriculture. Cloning, agricultural, a benefit of that is that some of this producing food has been approved in some countries. However, there's nothing in Australia that has been approved for human consumption that has been cloned. There are medical benefits, and techniques like artificial insemination allow the conception of a child despite any challenges that people might face. The idea of replacing defective genes can ensure that people live long and happy and prosperous lives. And then the production of proteins for therapeutic processes is also really helpful. And an example of this is replacing hormones such as insulin, which we can purify from pigs. The production of genetically modified foods, synthetic enzymes, and the development of pharmaceutical products has obviously benefits for our industrial sector in Australia, and also the production of biofuels is a big area of the future. Socially, the use of biotechnology is dictated by the needs that we face in society, the needs of the government, and also the wealth of different groups of individuals. The fact that these processes are quite time-consuming and costly means that socially, biotechnology is not available for all groups of people, and there are also lots of ethical issues that arise due to the areas of ownership and privacy, and how the genetic information that we get and use in biotechnology, how may be stored and obtained in the future. Economically, once we find biotechnology and patent it, it does increase the price for consumers and businesses that do want to use the technology, because they now have to pay more money for that patent. The ability to produce genetically modified foods, though, in greater volumes can overcome this, as the farmers actually end up with a greater financial return due to the number of viable crops that they're producing, which may account for this increase in price due to the patented technologies. And then culturally, the values, religious and moral beliefs of a group, as well as their educational background, can influence the way that people think and use biotechnology. When we use biotechnology, there are a range of different effects on biodiversity. We do see a reduction in genetic variation. Therefore, the organisms are less resilient to changes in the environment. By selecting fewer varieties and breeds, we do in fact reduce genetic variation. The fact that we're introducing genetically modified organisms into the ecosystem may change interactions that are currently at place. The loss of natural vigor can occur when whole organism clones are introduced into the population. The idea that we can produce pesticides and insect-resistant species can then invade the environment is quite problematic. But however, we do have the advantage that we can use biotechnology for de-extinction methods and being able to reintroduce lost genetics into a population. That includes Lesson 7 and our final lesson for Module 6. Make sure you tune in for Module 7.